I'm joined now by Stacy and Kathy, two brave moms who are part of a club that no mom should ever have to be part of. Thank you, ladies, so much for joining us and for sharing a little bit about your beautiful sons.
Thank you.
I know this is very tough to be here and to talk about this, especially after you both lost your sons in 2019. It hasn't been that long for the grieving process, but they're here today to talk about that and help other parents. And I want to ask you first, Stacy, how has your life changed since your son Hagen passed away?
That one of the ways that it changed the most was with my youngest son, Weston. You know, he was 16 when Hagen left, and so I'm watching him go through those years. Hagen was Weston's first best friend, and so there's definitely a void for him. And he turned 17, he turned 18, he just finished his first semester of college, and he's at that age now where they could be the best of friends, have so much more in common. And so it's been quite a challenge to learn how to actively parent one child as opposed to two. We had a lot of loss, but we also gained. We gained Tyler, Hagen's, I call her my daughter-in-love, and my grandson. And so it's changed in every conceivable way, but I cannot say that it was all bad. His leaving was so very difficult, but the change that it brought about in me is one that I'm proud of.
And for you, Miss Kathy, Matthew had struggled with addiction for many, many years, and it was a difficult, long road.
You know, if you have a child in active addiction, you really lose pieces of him along the way. And so I had lost pieces of my son, for years. And I think once he died, the finality was there and there was no hope. And so that was certainly life-changing. And I had to deal with the grief, but I've grieved for years at the loss of my beautiful boy. So about 7 years ago, Laura, as you know, I started saying, what am I going to do with Kathy? You know, my life was so intertwined with my son that I had lost myself. And so about 7 years ago, I said, I want to work with people. And so 7 years ago, I started going into prisons and jails and working with people in addiction, because I could not help my own son, but I wanted to help someone else's son. And since Matthew has died, I've really geared that up. I've taken a full-time job, and that's a lot for an old woman. But I'm the reentry coordinator at Pulaski County Jail. Sheriff Higgins had a vision to help people pre-release, because we found in doing research that people are not equipped to handle everything when they're released. So we're trying to reduce recidivism and help addicts along the way. And so I actually work full-time now at Pulaski County Jail.
And for you, Stacy, you've kind of taken the route of helping other grieving parents who are going through a very similar loss.
It was a decision that I made within those first few weeks, kind of once the dust settled, and I'm not going to let this grief consume me. You know, Kathy was talking about whenever your children are actively suffering, that's hell on earth. And there is no peace. You lose, like she said, you lose a part of yourself, you lose your identity, and you get to the point where you don't know how to settle down. And I was tired of suffering, and I thought, I'm not going to let grief take over. I'm not going to fall into the grave with Hagen. And so me and a couple of other amazing Arkansas moms, Tracy Carter and Deborah Toman, were like-minded, and we just wanted to show parents it's okay to live. You have to choose between living and existing. And with grief, it's so complicated, it consumes you. You can just settle for existing, and that's not what I wanted. I felt like Hagen's suffering was over, and in that, so was mine. And so that's what we try to do. We just try to love parents where they are and reassure them. There isn't a book that's been written that tells you how to grieve your child. And even if there was, it wouldn't be any of use to you, because it's not about you, it's not about your child. So everyone does it in their own way and their own time. And we just We just wanted to be able to come beside them.
You can see it just in the way that you are here today. You know, these moms have come together, and it's born out of this intense, incredible grief. But you've come together to make it a mission to help others. And there are a lot of parents who I know are watching tonight, and I know what they're thinking. Well, they feel for you, they grieve with you, but it won't happen to me. It won't happen to my family.
I didn't think that it would happen to mine. I never expected to lose my son to fentanyl. I never expected to have to drive to a police station and talk to a detective and have that detective hand me my son's personal belongings. That was on TV. That wasn't my life. I don't want another mother to become intimate with this pain. I don't want it to become a part of who she is. And the only way that parents can do their part not to sit where we're sitting is to talk to their children. There is no discrimination whatsoever in substance use disorder. There's no discrimination.
Thank you so much for being here tonight and sending a very important message to parents that this too can happen. We need to wake up, pay attention, and make sure we're talking to our kids.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your bravery, both of you.
Thank you.